Hi there, Colin Gwynn here with DJI Innovations, and in this video we're going to take a look at assembling the bipod landing gear assembly for the S800 hexacopter. So what you'll need for this step of the process is a 2mm Allen wrench, a 2.5mm Allen wrench. You'll need your head cap 2.5 by 8mm screws, 4 of them specifically. Your head cap 2.5 by 5mm screws, 8 of them. And your head cap 3mm by 22mm screws. We'll need 2 of these. In addition, you'll need the drawbar clamp rings, the 4 drawbars themselves. You'll need the H-frame assembly, the 2 T-frames, the skids, and your 2 sets of 4 rubber dampening parts. So the first step is to take your H-frame assembly and disconnect it into its 2 halves. As you'll notice, this bar that connects the 2 is not supposed to be fixed in any way. That will later happen with the rest of the airframe. Will hold it together. So we'll just pull those apart, and we have our tabs here. We're going to go ahead and put those downward, and then take a T-frame here and a skid. So the first thing you'll do is take the skid and insert the non-slip rubber damper about 1/3 of the way down the landing skid assembly. Then you'll take the landing skid and insert it into the T-frame assembly, and then just simply work it in. And then take another non-slip rubber damper and insert it from the other side, and then simply work it into place. So there's no gap here and no gap here. Once you've done that, you want to make sure that you have approximately equidistant skid hanging out from each side of the T-frame. Next, you'll take your rubber end cap and twist it on to the end of the skid, all the way on, nice and snug, both sides. So that is a fully assembled T-frame with skid. So we'll set that to the side for a second, and we're going to pre-assemble 1 set of drawbars on the drawbar clamps. So for this, we will use the 2.5 by 5mm screws. So we'll grab a couple of those, and a 2mm hex wrench, using a dab of Loctite, as always. And the next one. So we want these to be nice and loose, just started. We'll tighten them later once we have them properly aligned. Now what we want to do is take your T-frame, and what we want to do is we want to install the clamp such that the drawbars are toward the inside of the H-frame. So we'll slide that in here like this. So my clamps here, the drawbars are to the inside, facing to the middle of the H. Then we want to have our top mounting hub here. You'll see there's some notches in the bipod, in the carbon tubes here, that fit into a notch inside the mounting hub. And once it locks down into place, you can't rotate the assembly. So now we want to go ahead and use the same 2.5 by 5mm screws to loosely fasten the drawbars to your clamps on the H-frame. Just want to get those started. So that's 1. That's 2. So we'll want to take our 2.5 by 8mm head cap screws and get them started on the bipod top mounting hub and the drawbar ring clamp. So we'll go ahead and finally put some Loctite on our 3 by 22mm screw, and we'll get it started into the top mounting assembly. So now that everything is in place for the assembly, you'll want to, as the name suggests, draw up the assembly to make it nice and firm and basically find a good alignment point. And while you're holding it here with your fingers, we'll take our 2mm Allen wrench and tighten the clamp, just good and snug. And then we'll go ahead and tighten both of these. 1 and 2. Go ahead and tighten these guys here. And this guy here. Clamp the top mounting hub to the top of the bipod carbon post. And then we'll use our 2.5mm wrench and we will clamp the top mounting hub to the 12mm carbon rod of the H-frame. Get all of that nice and snug, and you have a nice, fully rigid landing gear assembly. So now that we have finished installing half of the landing assembly, you simply follow the same steps for the other half, and then you'll be left with one metal tube, which you simply slide on here, attach here. You do not need to fasten this in any way. It's okay that it's loose. When you put the center hub with the arms in place and lock all of these down, it will be held in position, and we leave this so that you can easily take it apart for traveling. So there it is in place. Now that we're finished assembling the landing gear, we'll take a look at the next video at installing the Wukong components into the center hub of the S800. See you in the next video.